We're live! Yay! We still got 7 minutes. We have 7 minutes till we go live, but now people can show up and watch us.
Well, don't put it on me.
Okay, don't put it on. You can put it on me if you want. And all my glory. I feel like such a tool when I'm on. I'll be dignified.
You don't know how to be dignified.
No, I'm gonna do, what is it? What's that called, Eddie? The fish face? Duck bill, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Is our, oh yeah, I can see that our sound is coming through all right.
Oh, I need to get this out of my face.
Do I have my sound done properly? Is there anybody watching us? Nobody's watching. Oh, we have 3 people watching. Anybody that's watching, let me know if the sound's coming through all right. Big thumbs up in the chat. Maybe. Oh, look, people are texting me. Bev. But I think she's something else. Okay, we got a thumbs up. So I guess the sound's coming through all right. And so Becky said that we can't show her for the first 5 minutes.
No, I'm still getting organized.
Well, she's getting organized, but I was like, we got to go on early so people will know to sign on and get it before we get started. And so Eddie's like, I'm going to watch you, and then he zooms right in, and it's kind of scary. I'm sorry that you're all subjected to this. Jolene, how are you doing, Jolene?
Yeah, we need to give shout outs. We didn't give shout outs.
I know. Well, because not everybody chimes in. They're lurking. I can see that I have like 5 people watching.
But you have to say hello.
Hello, Jolene. I can start singing that song.
I always want to sing that song when you say her name.
I know.
Jolene.
We have
Jolene.
to give
Jolene.
shout
Like
outs.
she's never heard that.
I know.
before.
I can just imagine. Like she wants to reach through the screen and punch you in the throat because you're singing the song.
We need to give
Sorry,
shout outs.
Jolene.
Okay, what should I start with when it's my turn?
I bet you could too. Jolene, you can throw down, right, Jolene? Go back to your cop days. You could just like break my arm. I bet you could. She totally wrecked
My
me.
goal is to have the count.
She's
Just
in New
based on
York
being
now.
from New York.
Clean
Yeah, she could totally wreck me.
start.
So I wouldn't want to piss off Jolene. Wait, are we? We can't say words like piss off, can we?
No.
On YouTube because we're a family show. I don't know. I can't believe people. Let's see. Jocelyn's on. Hello,
Hi,
Jocelyn. Oh, but Jolene does like to be sung to, so we can sing to her.
Okay.
Hey, Eddie, have you remixed my rendition of "Sweet Child of Mine" yet?
I think I might have.
we had an argument
It
about.
doesn't sound like it.
Well, the thing
Was it really
was,
that bad?
it was we had a discussion that auto-tune can make anybody sound good.
Yeah.
Was my contention, and Eddie was like, "Step into my studio," and so he tried to, and I was like, "You can make me sound good," and he couldn't. It was funny though. I couldn't stop laughing. I thought I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. It was sad.
Oh, gosh.
Why is there a glitch? Is that? Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. So 4 more minutes. So I have to sit here and ramble for 4 minutes. Who else we got on there?
You're the
We got
one.
Jolene. We got Jocelyn. We got a lot of J's on there today. Now, if there was like a Jackie that would sign on.
Yeah, we have to come up with a way to keep this in here.
I know it was.
I don't like that it comes out.
No. It's okay if you hang it.
So we're coming through good for Jocelyn. Okay. And let's see. We still got 4 minutes before we're turning the cameras back on over to Becky. So you'll have to look at my ugly mug. Oh wait, I can put on my ninja, my COVID ninja. So then let me see.
Which is not approved by the CDC, by the way.
I know,
I'm going to tell Dr. Fauci on you.
but you see, I'm protecting myself. I don't need the goggles. You know, they're like you need goggles to protect you from
You
COVID.
have a big old stain on your forehead.
Do I? Oh gosh, what are we dealing with? It works for everything. Yeah.
Bib.
Bib, now it's like, oh, I got done eating here. Let me clean my face off. Madgar's on. Yay! Hello, Danny. Why does it keep glitching? I don't know. I'm gonna worry about it.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Danny. Long time no see.
Yeah, but
Danny
we
in
just
the house.
jumped from
Danny
9
in the
viewers to
house.
7, so she's logged on to at least 2 devices.
Danny's in the house.
Oh,
I should have had
we're up to 10. Did you log on
granddaughter
to a 3rd device, Danny? Okay, 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. We should have I have to come up with a countdown screen that we can put on.
Yeah, if some music would be nice.
The problem with music on YouTube, if you don't have the license for it, they get mad. So I guess
yeah,
we could talk to our resident musician to come up with a intro.
That's true. They get very mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to play your own flute.
Yeah. Well, you don't want me playing the flute. I can't play the recorder. Shout out to Mrs. Jobin. Anybody out there represent Mrs. Jobin, elementary school English teacher? Mrs. Ellis, before I think she got married. You don't. Your kids might.
I wasn't. I'm
Kathy.
imported.
Kathy.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She had an auto harp. She rode around on a bike. Kind of remind me of Jackie Kennedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she taught us all to play the recorder.
Okay.
Yep. Mrs. Ellis, Mrs. Jobin. She was
Yeah,
Ellis
she
for a
married-
while. Then she became a Jobin.
Yeah, she married
Or the
Jobin.
Yeah.
She married Jobin.
So yeah, little Claremont history right there. Every
All right,
child
okay,
that probably went to school, within a 5-year period of myself, will remember Mrs. Jobin and her auto harp. She would sit there and zing the thing,
I'm swear to God.
and then she'd come in and she'd go, "Good morning," and then do the thing with her hands. And I mean, I'm in 2nd grade. I had no idea what that was all about.
Yeah, my kids have it.
And then we had then we all learned to play the recorder. It was fantastic and lovely, and I'm glad that you all. I bet everybody that's watching right now on YouTube, all 9 people are like, "What did I tune into this for?" Yes, Jocelyn. I'm glad you think this is better than working. I can't say it's probably much better than working, but it'll get good here in a minute when Becky takes. Oh, Eddie, let's talk about our fabric right now. That'll be something that'll kill time without people thinking,
Well,
"What am I?"
You want people to really know about your fabric.
Well, I know, but we'll just talk about it right now. You see the
Okay, go
fabric? It's like I want to point to my screen over here and say, "Here's the fabric," and it's not working. But anyway, so this is the new stuff that came in. Isn't this beautiful? It's Christmas, so we got like some last minute Christmas stuff in.
You can't really see the sparkles.
The sparkles, yes, it's metallic.
You know, I like a good sparkle.
Yes, it's metallic. See how wonderful that is? It's like a good Christmas-y metallic. And then this stuff over here is Kimberbell. We added some to our Kimberbell line. So there's more than just this for Kimberbell, but these were kind of Christmassy because we had a theme going on here. So that's the excitement we got happening here. It's 6 o'clock. I'm going to say a lot because, this is irritating when you go back and edit videos and you hear yourself saying the same thing over and over.
I'm going to try not to say my name in 3rd person. What the heck?
I have an auntie. I remember as a kid, I got a barbecue and she said, "Judes will get that for you."
That video.
And I'm thinking
I
myself,
kept going, what was I doing?
and as a kid, I'm like, I thought you were Aunt Judy. Who else is gonna? It's like you're looking around for. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, you're on screen now, Becky.
Well, I'm not ready.
Well, it's 6 o'clock. Oh, she's not there. So if you're watching right now, you'll see 2 quilts in the background. I don't have a pattern for the Barbie quilt. I have panels though. So if you buy the quilt, take a picture. So the Barbie panel, we have those online. I want to say they're $9.95, $7 flat rate shipping. And all we used for the borders on that is just the Riley Blake Swiss dots. And we just did some pinwheels and then fudged the black corners to make it look good. So there's really not a pattern. If you know how to quilt, you can take a look at that, figure out how to make that yourself. And then the other one we have up there, that is a I can't remember. I think that's a Quilting Treasures line. Anyway, we have 1 kit of that left, which you can find on our website if you're interested in it. I don't even know what it costs. You have to go in and look for it. It's like a treasure hunt. Suppose I could go get it, but we have 1 kit left, but we have plenty of the panels and a lot of the coordinates, but we're missing 1 or 2 of the coordinates, so we can't. So we could put
the border.
Yeah, the border. We could make another kit, I suppose, but if you like it, jump on that again. $7 flat rate shipping, or you can do local pickup if you order it tonight and want to come visit us tomorrow and pick it up.
And with the stuff I'm showing tonight,
Oh yes.
you're going to be able to do some.
Yes, you can do some fun
really
stuff with that
cool
panel with
stuff.
with what we're covering tonight. And the other thing, I understand that if you're coming in from Vermont, there might fiction and fantasy and fiction kit. Thank you, Danielle chimed in to save us. So yeah, that's what it's called. And if you are from Vermont, you want to come visit us, we do sell mask supplies. So that does make us an essential business. So when you're doing your grocery shopping, you can also stop over here and I mean, I don't have permission from your governor to tell you this, but we can
No.
pretend we're
We need more masks now.
yeah. See, so there you go. So if you're, if you need an excuse to come see us, we have mask stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Okay.
Elastic.
We have
Lots of
elastic. Yes, lots of elastic.
Okay.
All right. Why are you on me? I'm not the star of this show, Eddie. I just do a lot of rambling. All right.
All right. So, is it safe to say we're going to talk about what's going on in the shop?
Oh yeah,
before we get into anything?
It's 6:03. We're running late.
Last time I was here, I forgot to bring this. This is the advent calendar that's going to be, it's literally so cute. It's the centerpiece of the Winter Wonderland 2-day Kimberbell event that was going to be held on November 27th and November 28th. And it's a virtual event. We have a few select seats, but I think they're full.
Yes, all the in-house seats are full.
So we have, but it's a virtual event, which is really cool because let me tell you what's cool about the virtual event. Where's my camera?
It's right
Oh,
there.
dear.
So if you
Let me
look at the screen, it should look like you're looking at the cameras. Was the idea? So I put the screen there.
Okay, almost.
Yeah.
With a virtual event, I mean, let's be honest. If you get up and you go do something, it's no big deal. It's recorded. So even if you can't sew on those particular days, I mean, we'd love to have you, and that makes for a lot of fun. But if you can't, you can still sign up for the virtual event because you're then going to get the whole kit mailed to you, and you're going to get the recording of the 2-day event. So don't let the days keep you from buying your kit. It's $169 for the kit from Kimberbell, and that's 2 days worth of classes, and it's 5 different projects. This is just happens to be one of my favorites.
And it does include the lights, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
It lights up. It's little blinky lights. See?
And show the ornaments.
And then there's ornaments that are hidden in here, and you hang them. Oh, I thought I hung one on my light. Maybe I've dropped it already. You hang them on the little light bulbs. I personally, because there's only 12 light bulbs, I would have alternated with candy or something. Because after you hang 12, it's like, how do I hang them? I don't know. So
Pin them on.
pin them on. You could pin them on, but it's not that big a trick. But it's really cute. It's really cute, and it's really a lot of fun. And now I don't see myself. There I am. Yay.
I'm sorry. I was
Surfing.
going to put a link to this in the chat.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, here's the event, Winter Wonderland. Brent, they can sign up online.
Yes, that's what I was actually getting ready to throw a.
Sign up online.
I'm gonna
It's $169. It's 2 days of really a lot of fun, and they're really cute projects. If you haven't seen them, last time we went live, I showed off the ice skate, which I just fell in love with the ice skate stocking. There's an ornament bird and a little pillow, and of course this guy and all the other ornaments in here. So it's really a good value. In addition to that, if you'd like a finishing kit included in your package for $30, Brent will include all the stabilizers that you need. And by the way, there are, oh my gosh, 14 sheets of stabilizer. A lot. And all the threads in the colors that I chose.
And the thread, it's not going to be a full spool of thread. There'll be little sample things because to keep the cost of the finishing kit down, we can't give you.
They will be on the size of a bobbin.
An M bobbin. We spool them up on used pre-wound long arm bobbins.
Long arm bobbins. And it'll also include the thumbtacks that we're going to need, and the fusible woven interface that we need.
Fusible woven.
Yeah. So there's a nice little list.
Woven or non-woven?
It's woven.
It's woven because it says so on the paper.
Because I remembered to write it down this time. Yeah, so there you have it. So that's coming up, and there's still a few kits left for the virtual seats. So get in on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. The other thing that's going on here at Four Pines is Brenda's been busy teaching some classes on table runners using Emily Scott's designs. I didn't even know it. I bought this book last week because I went, oh my Lord, there's such pretty designs and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I got to get it. And Brenda goes, Well, we just did this. Oh, found my ornament. This is a fall version of a table runner she did. The designs were inside this booklet here. It's very pretty. It's all quilted on your machines. What's the max hoop size? 5x7?
5x7.
5x7. If you have a 5x7 hoop, you can do this whole project. And then she said, well, that's beautiful, but let's do a Christmas version. Now, these same designs, you recognize the pretty sparkly fabric?
It's the same as over here.
And again, these designs are in the same book. This book is just full of great information and designs. It's in this book. The book is $44.95.
Something like that, yeah. If that's what it says on it, that's what it costs, yeah.
$44.95, but it is gauds of stuff in it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and so this class, to get this patent, you have to take the class. The class is $15, and you have to have the book.
And we don't have one on the schedule yet, so we're gonna keep an eye on our calendar online. We'll have a class set up to do that.
You need to give a shout out.
You
need to get a shout out if there's interest.
Right.
You need to give a shout out. Okay, so that's that. Any questions on any of those things?
No, I'm not getting any questions.
Woohoo!
Not yet, anyway. Maybe there's like a lag.
Well, I'm cleaning off my counter. So
Okay.
I don't have too much clutter because I can't find things. What
Clutter.
What I'm going to show you how to do tonight is something kind of new to some folks, not new to others, but I got so addicted. Brent cut these snowman panels in, and we were like, oh, they're cute, but I don't know what I want to do with them. And they go to a whole quilt by Riley Blake. But I don't know. I just like snowmen. So I took them home, and I made these cute little mug rugs out of them. And I created this pattern for the mug rug because it had to be sized to fit the snowman. And so created that, and it's a machine embroidery file. You have to have a 6x10 hoop to do it. And then I used my design center to trace the snowman. So then Brent said, oh, well, we got this too. And I said, okay. So he challenged me on these cute little foxes. Can you see the lines on that? See, he's cute. Even his eyes, his beak, the little ribbon on the package.
Yeah, all the
You can get as detailed as you want when we do this tonight. But basically, you're tracing it in Design Center. So if you come in and you buy an owl pattern, not an owl, what's this called?
I don't know.
Panel of foxes.
Yeah, if you buy a panel,
See?
we'll include the pattern to make these mug rugs for
Yeah.
free. Yeah,
And not only do you get the file, and you can tell us what format. It doesn't have to be PES format. We can use any format. We just need to know what format you need. And yeah, I even did instruction sheets.
Yeah, she's going all out.
I went all out on this baby.
She's professional.
So you will get a link, or you email them to
Probably,
her?
yeah. We'll email the PDF of the file if it's something you're interested in. You can order, if you order a panel online, just put a note in the order that you're interested in the pattern, and we'll include a link for the download of the file and of the instructions. And if you come into the shop and pick one up, just give us your email, and we will. Our cameraman's over there sleeping. So yeah, if you come into the shop, if you order a panel online, just put the notes that you wanted the pattern, and we'll include a link to that, or we'll email you a link to the pattern and download for the instructions. If you come into the shop, just let us know, and we'll email you the files, or you can bring in a thumb drive and we'll download it for you. So
make it easy. Bring in your thumb drive and we'll load it up. The other thing to keep in mind, though, is the simplicity of this. You don't have to have an embroidery machine. We're going to show it with an embroidery machine tonight, but you don't have to. If you didn't want to do the detail in here, you could see how you can do that on your sewing machine as well. I mean, I love my embroidery machine, so that's what I'm going to use.
And I'll just throw it out there. We do have. Oh, look at that! The cameraman's like, "Oh, I'm going to put my dad on screen."
Good job.
We do have. I do have a few dream machines that came in on trade. I think about two dream machines, and I have a Stellaire as well on the floor. So if you are interested in an embroidery machine, we can certainly sell one to you. I'm still waiting on the 1600s, which I know a few people are waiting on those. Those aren't in yet. But if you do want a dream machine, I do have a couple that came in on trade. Got a really good price on them and fantastic shape. They've got the luggage set, and I believe we also have the extension tables for them as well. So if it's something you're interested in, once you watch this tonight, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to be able to do that. I'll be happy to sell you the machine. And it's Christmas, so you can give yourself a Christmas present.
You can. They're just so darling, aren't they? I just love every one of them. I don't know which one was my favorite. Addiction. That's what they are. So let's talk about what we need to make this happen. First of all, you will need a 6x10 hoop. The finished size of this is going to be approximately 8 inches by 5.5 inches. So you can't do it on a 5x7. It has to be a 6x10 hoop. For material, and this is, I've hooped up some cutaway stabilizer. I like the mesh kind because I leave it in. I just leave it in. It doesn't shrink when you wash it. It doesn't crinkle up when you wash it. So I recommend the mesh kind of cutaway. The other thing we're going to need is a piece of batting. You can use any batting. I happen to use the 70-30 blend. This is 7x10 inches, this piece of batting. We're in the hoop though, so don't go crazy about getting the sizes exactly right. At least 7x10.
No, are you hooping the bat? Oh, I shouldn't ask. I'm getting ahead of you. You're not hooping the batting up.
Not yet. I'm just talking about the material.
Oh, from a material standpoint.
I try to be organized.
Okay, never mind. I'll shut up. I'll just shut
A
up.
hoop with cutaway stabilizer, a piece, a 7x10 batting.
Okay. Yeah. See, I'll shut up.
We're going to demonstrate how to make this one, but you will get instructions for this style as well. But basically the steps are very similar. On this one, I then need 3 strips of fabric that are 2.5 by 3.5 inches. Any fabric. There's a good place to use up some of your scraps. I'm also going to need 2 pieces that we're going to use for the back because we do an envelope style and then seal it shut. Those 2 pieces, one is 14 by 7, one is 8 by 7. And you will take those backing pieces and you will take them both and you will fold them wrong sides together. This is the 14 by 7 piece. I have folded it in half wrong sides together to prepare. And then I have, sure you have, oh, I didn't fold this one in half. Look after you do that. Then this one will be my other piece that's 8 by 7, again, wrong sides together, folded in half. This just means that when you put it on the back, you have no raw edges showing. Okay.
What?
I don't know.
She said 8x7.
No, 14 by 7 and
14.
then 8 by 7.
Okay.
One piece is 14 by 7
Okay.
and one piece is 8 by 7.
They're right.
Okay.
That's all you need material-wise. Obviously, I call this the ribbon stitching right here. So you're going to want to pick an embroidery thread that you like. This is a decorative diamondy, satiny stitch. So you're going to want a color thread for that. Also, there's diamond quilting that's done on this side. I chose a white embroidery thread. So you're going to want to have thread for that. You're going to use your regular piecing thread to put it together. When you get to the tracing stitching, I play with so many different threads. I have to tell you, my favorite, hands down, no matter which background color I was doing, was using this Wonderfill. And what weight is this?
It's Invisifil. It's going to be 100 weight.
It says Wonderfill on it.
Wonderfil's who makes it. Invisifil is
Invisifil, 100 weight, and a neutral color, a very neutral color.
very neutral. Yes.
This is the one I use.
Yeah. Number 112 is probably the most popular.
112
And
blended right in.
And I'm out of it. It's
perfectly.
on its way in.
I did it in black, and I didn't like it. I felt it looked like I had been drinking when I was stitching. So, like I was cross-eyed.
No,
Yeah, I didn't
also
like
that
And I
goes,
tried invisible
Yeah.
thread too, and I didn't like the feel of it.
Yeah, the monopoly.
Yeah,
Yep.
did not like it.
Yeah, monopoly is, and Deco
Listen.
Bob is another one that Wonderfil makes. Deco Bob is an 80 weight versus 100 weight, and so that will also give you pretty good results. It'll show a little bit more, but it's a little bit. I like it more for my long arm. I prefer the Deco Bob over the Invisifil because it's a little easier to work with.
This is the guy.
But
and this is a nice neutral color. And if you don't want a neutral color, if you want to go crazy, Brent's got all the colors you can imagine. But I just used one color.
Yeah, and that's color 112 is probably the most popular. 103 is going to be a light gray, is another popular color of Invisifil, and 414 are those are your three big ones: 103, 112, and 414.
That was good. Good. All right. So those are the simple materials. No questions?
No questions yet.
Did you guys get your design?
No.
I asked you for it and you said you would give it to him because we needed to make changes to it.
Okay, Brent, they need the design.
Okay. Do you have it downloaded on your machine?
I have it on the stick. Let me save it to my memory.
Yes.
Sorry.
This is so much fun.
That's why I was holding up the USB.
You're
Because,
like-
like, what do you want me to do with this thing?
I totally miss
Okay.
it, and I got to come out just to make sure that it releases that silly stick. Okay.
All right. Here you go, Brenda. Maybe just save the machine then.
Sorry about that, gang.
See, because
It's on
we're
my machine.
organized.
Oh.
Um.
Oh. 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 I didn't save right.
Oh, so you need the stick back?
I do.
Brenda, she needs
Oh, you need to
stick
stick back? Okay. Set. Can I save it, though,
Yeah,
it on
if you,
here.
if you
In
hit it,
memory?
yeah, put it to memory up
in the machine?
in the machine. Yes.
I thought I did that, but it didn't work.
There you go.
I could have Wi-Fi'd it. I should have
You
Wi-Fi'd
could have
it.
Wi-Fi'd it, sure. That's just
should've.
technology.
Well, I'll tell you, that is slick. But I don't know if this sewing machine.
We've got 9 viewers out there today.
I don't know if this sewing machine is talking to that computer yet. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know that we've done that yet. Well, hello
We know
to
you
all our
have.
9 viewers that are watching us live. If you're watching us in the future, thanks for tuning in. Do the like, subscribe, and all that so you can catch all our future episodes of whatever this is.
Okay, I'm just going to take this out and hope it works.
Okay. Well, Brenda has hers now. Well, yeah, if you've got it up on the screen, you can take it out. You don't need to leave it
Oh,
in
I
there.
just forgot to. Okay. All right, here you go.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so now we've got our design in. And if you refer to your instructions, the first thing it's going to do is make a placement line for the batting. So again, I've got a regular piecing bobbin in here or an embroidery bobbin, doesn't really matter. And I've got my piecing thread in. And I'm going to say, oh, this isn't set up on my machine.
Oh, yeah, did we not have it in?
It's all right, I got it.
All right.
Off it goes. It's going to make the placement line for my batting. When it's done, I'm going to put my batting down. Did y'all notice there's a right side and a wrong side to batting?
No.
I didn't either.
I had heard that
There
rumor.
is.
Yes.
And and there really is. If you feel it, one side is a little rougher or a little bumpier than the other side. There's like little, where am I at? There's little
With
bump.
the screws?
There's little bumpy.
Yeah, the scrim. Yeah.
The bumpy is the wrong side, so you turn it over. There really is. Okay, so this is done. You've got a little rectangle. You're simply going to place your batting down. Step 2 on my machine. When I say step, see the number on my machines? That corresponds to your directions when you get it. So step 2, it tells me I'm going to tack down the batting and I'm going to make a placement line for my fussy square. So off it goes. No real need to tape down your batting or anything. It's going to stick to the mesh stabilizer just fine. And due to popular demand, i.e. Brenda's demand, it will go around twice.
Thank you.
Because she doesn't like to trim her batting unless it's gone around twice.
Right.
Or anything else. I try to take that into consideration on every step of the way. So once it finishes with this, we're going to take it out and we're going to trim the batting on all 4 sides. And we're going to make sure we trim it really closely because we don't want batting in our seams. When we turn this, we don't want thick, wonky thick, wonky stuff here. So we keep the batting out of this area. We're also going to keep the mesh out of this area as well. So when we're done, we have nice, clean seams. Okay, so off it comes. Oops, I'm sorry. One more stitch. It's making the placement line for my square. And my directions do say that, so that's all good. Okay. So then we're going to take the hoop off the machine. So my machine is currently saying step 3 on it. And I'm going to take the hoop off the machine. I'm going to come over to the cutting table. And we're going to trim. Oh! It didn't come my thread. That was crazy.
Are you using Invisifil?
Yeah.
Or bobbin thread?
No.
No, I'm saying it's Invisifil on top. Sometimes Invisifil, because it's so
No, that's
thin.
just my decal ball.
Oh, it's just decal ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the thinner
I might
threads.
not have it set up right, Brent. You know,
Alright.
because I didn't spend a lot of time doing setup. That's okay. All right. So when we're trimming, I say close. I mean close. I mean right up to that line. Pull your batting up.
Can you, Becky, see if you can put the a little bit further ahead? There you go.
Thank you.
I mean, you have a very beautiful back of the head that we all love to watch, but
No, I don't. Don't need you picking my fleas.
well, your husband's at home, right? I'm sure he's tuned in.
He's all flat on his back.
You can give him something to
He's
do.
out of
Watch.
commission. So just go around, but don't be real. You know, it's worth it to get it nice. Don't be like, it doesn't really matter. It does matter. If you want your seams to lay nice and pretty when you're done, it does matter. Okay, that's good. Yay, we did that. You're like, who does this?
Oh, isn't there a guy?
No, it's
No.
Eleanor Burns.
Eleanor Burns. Eleanor Burns.
Yeah.
Now I have a tool here that I really like to use for aligning up fussy stuff. It's called the light box. If you don't have one, you don't have to go out and get one, but it comes in handy when you're lining up fussy stuff.
Can't you use like your iPad to do that? Is there an app for
You
that?
can actually use your window. You can hold your
I was gonna say, isn't there an app on
dot
the?
design up to
Yeah.
the window, but I have one, so I get to use it.
I have
On it goes. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I've cut out my snowman. This is the snowman I'm going to work on. And I know this is where she's going to sit. Well, I have to be a little careful. I have to make some judgment call. Am I going to cut off her feet or am I going to cut off her hat? I don't want black lines on any of mine. So I'm actually making sure my black lines are outside of my stitch lines. You have to make a judgment call. I'm gonna go with something like that. Each one of these snowman panels had black lines in slightly different areas. That's why there's some judgment. Okay? Everyone see how I'm doing that?
No complaints yet.
Taper in place. This is Kimberbell tape I'm using, but you can use painter's tape as well, or even Scotch tape, but don't get your eye in your Scotch tape. Won't be happy. You turn that off. We're going back to the machine. And now what it's going to do is it's going to do the tack down and a special trim line for us on this fussy cut square. I call this the fussy cut square. So let her rip. So basically, I don't know if they can see it, Betty. There we go. Thank you. It's going all the way around, and you'll see what I meant about I had to make a judgment call on her. It's telling me what parts of her are going to show. Should have done a better job taping it, but it should be all right. And then it's going to pop over, and it's going to tell me where to trim it. Because if I just trim this right around her, I won't have a 1/4 inch seam allowance for my side edges. So this next line that it makes is a trim line for your fussy cut panel. It's all part of the same step. We'll just tack it down and then give you a trim line. So once you're done with step 4, We're going to take the hoop out of the machine. We're going to come over to the cutting table. And I'm going to trim. I'm not going to trim the other 3 sides of the snowman. I'm just going to trim where I stitched the trim line. That's the only side I care about trimming. It's the inside edge of the snowman. And I'm going to trim right to that trim line. Do that. So there, that's down. Now, I'm going to put it back in the machine, and it's going to give me the placement line for strip 1. So what we have, just so everybody knows, I've just trimmed right along this trim line that we just stitched out. She's nicely tacked down, so she's not going anywhere anymore. Back in she goes. This time it's going to stitch a placement line for my first strip of fabric. The first strip of fabric, thank you, Eddie. First strip of fabric is this one up here. So you pick 3 fabrics of your choice. You'll see what it does is it kind of made like a little L. And you guessed it, and I would use tape on this one. You take fabric of your choice. You put it face up. And you want to put it so it's overlapping the seam allowance by a 1/4 inch. You got your piece is plenty big enough. You've got plenty of room to work. I would take this down instead of sticking my fingers in it. You notice I keep reusing the same tape, so just keep it on the hoop. Now I'm going to put it back in the machine, and this next step is going to stitch. Oh, I got to change that setting. It's going to stitch my strip 1 piece down. So this piece right here is now being stitched down for me. Then we're going to prepare ourselves to do the second strip. Everybody with me?
No complaints yet.
Good. Before I put my second strip on, I'm going back to the cutting table so I can trim this first block. I'm going to trim the top.
Yep. Back in your head.
Oh my goodness, I could get used to this. Thank you. I'm going to trim the top.
I could get a better camera mount, I suppose.
I'm going to trim along the top. And I'm going to trim along this inside edge. I am not going to trim the bottom, and I am not going to trim the outside edge.
So you're just trimming all of the edges that are on the inside. We don't care about any of the outside edges for most of it.
Oh, sorry. Put this on there so that doesn't happen. I'm trimming the. There we go. I'm trimming the inside edge and this top. So you're right. The inside edges, the 2 inside edges. Yep. That's a good way to say it. Thank you. Back in we go. Guess what it's going to tell me? Placement line for strip number 2.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Before you go on, when you put that first one down, what placement line are you using for the top? Are you using the trim line or?
No, it actually stitched out, and it looks like an upside down L.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm using for a placement line. Okay, that's good. Good question. It's because we're doing it in a light color. I probably should have used a brighter color for class. Things to learn. Okay, so now it's going to do a placement line for my second strip of fabric. Now this second strip of fabric, you want to put face down. Okay, and again, I line it up like a 1/4 inch over. I am going to use my tape again. Like, it just saves on stress of reaching in the fingers. All right, so now, I lied. Darn it. I need to go back a step. That stitch I should have put the red down. When we did this last stitch right here, I should have had the red down for that.
I just realized something. I'm asking people that have questions. They have no idea what we're doing because they don't have the patch. They're just like watching and they're along for the ride.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Before I stitch this last line, step number 6, I should have put my red fabric down or my strip 2 fabric down 1/4 inch over. Then step 6 is stitched. I got to look and see if I got that right on here. I did have it right on the directions.
Okay, so you're going 1/4 inch past the
Yep.
stitch line, so it's,
Yep.
which would make sense. So you have
And then
something
it
to stitch
stitches-
to,
And then it
Yeah.
stitches down.
Yeah.
Yep.
and then that.
Then I'm going to take strip number 2 and I'm going to fold it over, hand press it, and I'm going to put my tape back on. I'm just recycling the same 2 pieces of tape we started with. And now what it's going to do is stitch number 2 down. Yep. And take my tape with it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun though to watch that in action on the screen. It's like, oh, look at the tape. Yay.
So now, and you should, because it's a double stitch, it's kind of a hint. You're going to be trimming. So over to the cutting board we go. My tape. And you're going to trim again the same 2 inside
Your head.
edges.
Your head, Becky.
The same 2 inside edges will get trimmed. Then we will take number 3, the third material. Eeny, meeny, miny, mouse. I think I'll use it. This is what I did wrong the last time. I should have done this first. And we're going to put this down about 1/4 inch past. Give or take. You don't have to be exact. Again, tape it down. My tape's getting pretty abused. I might add another piece of tape. Here it is. That's not my head. There we have it. Back to the machine. Where I will tack down piece number 3. Can y'all guess what I'm going to do next? You could actually trim, like mine's a heavy 1/4 inch. If it bothered you, you could trim that off too before you flipped it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to flip it. We're going to flip it over, hand press it, put our tape back on, and we're going to go around the whole piece of 3, across the bottom and up to seal it all off. So I'm also going to put a little bit of tape over in this corner. And that's what step 9 does for you. I think you're starting to see it come together, huh?
It's very exciting and it looks so easy.
It is easy.
And think of all the Christmas gifts that you could make
It's just
and how quick this just goes
so
together.
freaking addictive. Oh.
Friggin's all right.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I didn't, when I hit the little checkbox when I started the video, I said it's not appropriate for children.
Oh.
So I suppose that you can say things like that.
I won't. Okay, so now you see it's all stitched down. Isn't that cool?
Very cool.
Getting it start. Good. So now
Danny says she's going to tell Becky on you.
I'm going to take it off, and now I'm going to trim. The only one I really care about is the top of this green. We don't need to worry about the outside edges at all when we're trimming. And actually, I put this so high up there, it's very little to even worry about, but I'm still going to trim it. Okay. So now your machine is going to tell you that you are on step 10. And your instructions are going to tell you that step 10 is going to be the quilting stitch. So this is when you have to make sure you change your thread to whatever you want to quilt the little side pieces in. I've chosen a white Floriani
Go back to the
because
machine
I
screen.
love a Floriani.
So those of you that are using like a Dream Machine, you'll see you get the little thing up in the corner to show you what the next stitch is. Yeah, up and down one, the little picture of the cross hatching. I don't know why I'm telling you that. Everybody that has one probably already knows this.
Oh, this here?
Yeah, the little.
Yeah, but I also was really good and wrote it all down.
Yeah, I see you're organized like that.
So, that's where my needle. I'm going to stitch my quilting, which everybody who knows me knows I love to exaggerate the quilting, so you'll see it go around twice.
It's not twice so that Brenda can trim it.
No, this is not for trimming this time,
I'm not gonna
Brenda.
trim this time.
This is because I just think quilting is so pretty. I like to exaggerate. But if you don't want to go around twice, don't.
I like it going around.
I do too. I think it just gives it that little more poof. So around it goes. Also, in your instructions, you know, if you can catch this on camera, and I do want feedback, but I put little triangles, so as you're moving along, you can like check off your steps.
Ooh, fancy.
You know, so if you get lost. So anyway, I didn't want to make them too long, but I didn't want to make them
Is it
clear.
Kimberbell? Some of them use like a piece of chocolate to keep track where they're
Keep
at.
a piece of chocolate.
Yeah, a little Hershey Kiss.
Oh, I can't copy, but you can come up with something else.
A peppermint. We can use peppermint instead.
A peppermint.
So when you get done, you can pop them in. You know, like those. I get in trouble when I say this. You know the old lady peppermints, the square ones.
Yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Yeah, Sarah loves those. And I keep telling her she's an old lady because she loves the old lady peppermints.
Okay, now the next step, which is step number 11, and if you look at your screen, you'll see it's going to be the ribbon. So now I'm going to take the white out, and I'm going to put in thread that I want my little ribbon to be in.
Now, to be clear, the ribbon is the stitch itself. There is no ribbon involved.
Yeah, I call it the ribbon stitch.
Well, no, it's fine because it looks like a ribbon. When I first saw it, I was like, I don't know if it comes through on camera, but that little.
It's not just a satin stitch.
It's not a satin stitch. Yeah,
it's dressed up.
It's a cool little stitch that she threw on there.
It's a little dressier.
The chat is quiet tonight. I'm kind of
They all
disappointed.
left us.
No, it says we have 8 people watching,
Okay, so
but we know
now
3 of them are
we're
Danny.
gonna. It's basically gonna cover up my raw edges because
Eddie,
we've got raw edges between the panel and the side here. So this little stitch is good, which is why you needed to trim. It's going to basically go around, look similar to an applique would, and cover up those raw edges.
so you want those raw edges trimmed to at least like 1/8 of an inch, so that the
Trim them
cover.
right to the stitch line.
Right. Okay.
Trim them right to the stitch line.
So we have 6 people watching because Danny says only 2 of the watches are her.
It makes it nice and tidy. This will take a few minutes, so while it's doing this, sounds a little clunky, but it's a ribbon.
Yeah, sometimes you'll run into that on your embroidery machine if you're going through thicker stuff or thicker stitches.
I didn't slow it down either.
Yeah, and you're going super fast. You're going to get that little clunk clunk. That's just the machine working.
He's working very hard.
And
on the
it will stop and give you a sad face if you do something wrong. Otherwise, just let it do its magic.
I guess I could turn it down, but I don't want to. I like to know how it's going to do. It's marching along quite nicely. While it's marching along, though, I'm going to go back to the talking about when we go into Design Center. There are a couple of ways to trace our design. One is to use the stylus that came with the machine, which I find to be quite large and clunky.
It's like using a shotgun when you wish you had a rifle.
It's hard. And the other thing is you could use your finger on the screen to do the tracing, but I find my finger is bigger than this thing. So the third thing people sometimes do is if you get an old wired mouse, you can stick this in the USB port of your machine where it says mouse. It's a little picture of a mouse. It has to be an old wired one though, okay? And you can actually use this to trace your design. Some people swear by this. That's why I'm bringing it up. They find it much easier to do. The method I'm going to show you tonight is using this little stylus. The stylus that I have purchased are, and you can get different ones. Mine happen to be Neckos.
And any stylus designed
It's
to work with an iPad should work on
Not the iPad pencil.
Not the Apple Pen.
not the pencil, the stylus.
Yeah. It has to be a capacity.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to
Oh,
say.
what?
Capacity.
A capacitance, something other for touchscreens.
Yeah, it has to say it's a capacity.
Yeah.
Capacitor, capacity. I forget the word now. But it basically, and don't move this little tip. That little plastic tip, that has to stay on it. That's what. Did you break it already, Brenda?
So you don't lose your little plastic tip.
Oh, you want me? Yeah, it does. You can actually store it in here like this. That's what Brenda was showing off. She already figured it out. You can store it inside itself. The package
We will be getting a few. We should have a couple of those in stock here probably next week. Of those
they actually
pens.
come with extra tips too,
Oh,
Yeah.
do
in
they?
case you wear them out or lose them. Yeah. But so that's that. Oh yay! My ribbon is done. How exciting! So this is where your instructions are going to clearly say in bold letters when you get your instructions. If you wish to trace around your fussy cut square with Design Center, this is the time to do it. Because the only other step left, guys, is putting the backs on. So if you really wanted to be done right now, you could stick your backs on and call it a day. But of course, Becky wanted to try using the
Well,
Design
it
Center.
just depends who you're giving them to for Christmas. If you're giving it to your cousin's favorite third uncle, you're
Yeah.
not going to want to trace it because that's just too much work.
Okay.
But if you're giving it to like your mother-in-law and you want her to like you want to trace it, make it special.
All right. Well, also in your instructions, and this is pretty loose, but it talks about all the different steps we're going to use to make it happen. I've included how to trace your fussy cut square in the Design Center. Now, we are going to be able to scan them in on the Luminaire and the Dream Machines. If you are on the
Stellaire.
you have to use the My Design Snap app,
Yes.
where you have to have done this in a machine that had registration marks on it. Take the photo, send it to the Design Center. I tried to do that on my Luminaire,
Yeah.
and the Luminaire was mad at that frame.
I can.
It said, "You have a Luminaire. You don't need to be
Why
doing this. Use your scanner, girl." So I tried to do it so I could show both tonight, but
Yeah.
Luminaire was like, "No." So
And Snap App's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's not.
it is.
There's
You
not.
take a picture,
Use
send
your phone.
send it to your computer, call it up in Design Center, and you're there. But we're going to use the scanner tonight. Basically, you're going to get your design in there one way or the other. When we're at this screen right here, we're going to say, okay, we're not going to get rid of this file. We're going to add to it. We've done adding to files before, so this should start getting to be old hat. We're going to say, okay, we're going to say return. And now so basically we've come out of the guts of the embroidery, and we're going to say we need to add a design. This is where you would also add any letters, lettering names, that kind of thing. We're going to say add, and we're going to go into the My Design Center. And we're in My Design Center on the Luminaire. We're going to scan. On the Stellaire, you're going to bring it in via the
app. Yeah.
So we click this little leaf.
Yeah, and then it's going to be similar on the scan process is similar on the Dream Machine. The buttons look
Dream Machine is very similar.
Yeah, the buttons look a little different, but it's the same process.
Yeah. We're going to bring in an image scan. Basically, image scan is a background image. That's what image scan is for. So we're going to choose that, and we're going to tell it to scan. And it's going to say, okay, here I go.
Right? Yeah, you're fine. Our mic is doing fine. They'll yell at
Get
me
it
online.
going. Get it going, girl.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah. They'll yell at me online if it's making too much noise.
So what it's doing is scanning in, and I don't know how many people knew this. It took me like a year to realize that I didn't need to use my scanning frame to scan.
Yes.
It took me forever, and I went, what?
Any,
You mean you can scan in your hoop?
any hoop you want to throw in there, it will scan.
It will, and it's then this whole magical thing started happening. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some of the things on this screen that we need to understand. First of all, you'll see my little scan here. Can you see that? Okay, it's fuzzied out. It does that on purpose because it's the background. It's too fuzzied out for me. So these two leaves up here allow me to adjust the transparency. If I click this one, see how it makes her darker? So I can find her easier to see. And if I need to lighten her up on the fly, I just go back the other way. So those are my transparency buttons. The other button that comes in very handy for Becky is the magnifier. I like to go to 800%. Now, some will call me crazy on this one, but I swear I get better results at 800% than at 200 or 400. I swear it's more accurate. Brother's probably going to tell me I'm nuts and I'm completely wrong, but with trial and error, I swear at 800 it's almost right on. I might be because of the size of my tip, on the screen. I don't know. So, and again, this you can change on the fly. So you can go up and down to whatever makes you happy. The other command we're going to use is this hand. This hand allows us to pan around the image because you can't fit everything all in at once. I can actually now drag my picture around. So let's say I'm going to make a decision to start on her hat. I'm going to put her hat center. So magnifying glass blows it up or shrinks it down. Pan moves it around. Transparency lightens or darkens the image that we're going to trace. First thing I want to do, and you don't have to do this first, but I think it makes sense, is go into line type. And I'm going to say I want an open line type, which is the first one, meaning I'm going to freehand it. I'm going to set my double run stitch. And now you can choose any color you want, or you can leave it black. I'm going to actually, based on one of Brent's suggestions, change it to red because I have a black outline on my snowman already. So I want to be able to keep track of what I've outlined. Now I'm going to say, okay. So now I've just set up my line type, my color, my transparency. I've played with all of those goodies. The other thing I check before I get started is the size of my eraser in case I make a boo-boo. So here's the eraser right here. And it normally comes in huge. And if you put your stylus or your finger on the screen, I don't know, mine's not too bad, size 20. I actually like it usually a little smaller. You can pick the shape. Do you want it to be a square or do you want it to be a circle? Depending on what you're editing, sometimes one shape works better than the other. But you'll be using an eraser, I guarantee you. So size 20 is not bad. I'm going to start with that. So out we go. So those are the most important elements that we need. That's it to do this. That and a method of tracing. Now, I'm going to use my stylus to do it. What happens when I touch the screen, it is an automatic, I should hear a beep. If I don't hear a beep, it means it didn't activate it. And I should hear a beep, and I should start to see a line developing. I'm going to go all the way up to 800%, even though I'm going to attempt, whoops. Did you see what I just did? It's because my eraser's active. See, that's my big eraser. What I wanted to do is get my hand.
Keep in mind that the scan is the background. So even though you're erasing everything,
you're not erasing the background.
You're not erasing the background. You can't erase that. You have to fade that in and out with your fade button.
Yeah. You can only have one tool active at a time, except when it comes to the magnifier or the transparency. You can change those on the fly. But you can't have the hand and the pencil and the eraser all active. So if something isn't doing what you want it to do, it's probably because you don't have the right tool selected. That's usually what happens to me. I forget to touch the hand. So I'm going to choose my pencil.
Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand. I'm going to put, I hope we're going to hear it beep. And it doesn't matter where you start. Okay, that's the other thing. There's some fancy algorithm that amazes me. Where after we're done, it doesn't even matter what order you put it in. It goes and it tries to figure out the most efficient way to stitch it and how to stick it all together for you. So you can jump around as you're drawing. Doesn't care. So I'm gonna just put my hear it, and I'm basically just. I find I draw better going up. I don't know why again.
And you can kind of see on the screen how it's turning red as she traces it.
Can she?
Oh yeah, I can see it here. So I'm assuming.
You know what? I'm going to move the transparency down.
I'm assuming
See
our viewers at home can see it.
Okay, that's better now, right?
Yep.
Transparency's down. So see how when I was done, I just picked it off. I still have my pencil active, so I'm going to go and I'm going to get this part of the hat. Now these are pixelated, so don't get like overly like, oh my gosh, it looks a little shaky, but it is going to look shaky.
But you're at 800%, so remember it's 800
well, even
times.
if you're not at 800%, it's pixelated.
Yeah.
But for some magic reasoning, when it goes through its algorithm, it tries to straighten stuff out for you within reason. So don't be going, oh, that's horrible. It's not actually. I'm pretty happy with that. And while I'm here, I'm going to start her sleeve. Oops, see, I didn't get a beep. There's my beep. And you can trace as little or, whoa, now see? Oh, Becky doesn't like that right there. So now.
You just did the third person thing we were talking about.
my next tip is the undo command. Oh, that's the second time he did it. This is the undo command. It can totally undoes until that first click. That's a good reason not to go too far ahead without lifting your pencil. Because if you have to do an undo, you don't want to undo a half an hour of work. You just want to undo a little section of work. So I'm going to try that one again. I'm going to come this way. Undo. Now, did you hear it beep, beep, beep and kick some steps on me?
Because you're dragging your wrist?
No, I'm trying to hold my arm.
Yeah.
It does that sometimes, and it drives me nuts. So now I'm dragging my wrist. Don't touch the screen with your finger or your wrist, because if you do, you're going to get a line. I'm going to go try and fill that in after. Sometimes I just have, what I do when I have that happen is I take my hand and I just move to a new spot. Sometimes it just doesn't want to behave. There we go. Nope, see? I'll catch it later. We got plenty of time to go back and catch it later. So is everybody tracing?
Well, our viewers at home see when they get their patterns, they'll be tracing at this point.
Okay, well, I won't trace the whole thing, but I want to trace enough to make it look like something.
They don't like half trace, so then you stitch it out and you have like this.
Well, if I don't put the back on, I can go back later. That's the other cool thing, by the way, is you don't have to finish. You don't even have to leave it in the hoop. You can go, when you're doing like something like this,
Maybe.
you can actually just say, oh, I'm going to pick it up where I left off. Scan it again. It will bring in the picture. And I, as a tip, I save to memory before I convert it to embroidery. Because that way you can always go back and edit it if you want to. Once you convert it to embroidery, it's a done deal. So you don't have to finish the whole thing at once. I can stop and come back and pick up where I left off. You can stitch out, like I could just stitch out her hat right now, call it a day, come back tomorrow and decide I want to do more.
No.
Just don't put the back on.
And the back you're going to sew on. You're not doing the back in the hoop.
It's in hoop.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yep. So I'm going to go back. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just concentrate on our hat for now, okay? I'm undoing my stick. Just so I can show you the whole. Here I am. See, I'm just going, moving to a new section. Picking up my pencil. And tracing.
See, and this is why you should, if you don't have a dream machine,
Here,
we have
I'm
them
going
in
to use
stock.
an eraser. See, I didn't like that section. Eraser lets me get rid of parts of something, not a total redo. Back to pencil.
So we have, like I
This
said,
is a tough angle for Beck.
we have 2 dream machines, so you should come buy yours next week so you have time to make all your mug rugs for Christmas if you don't have a machine already. That's a hard sales pitch for the night.
I can do this for hours. My sister makes fun of me. I love tracing.
I wish Marie was here because she has lots of experience with this.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
she
does
does.
But it came out good. We had somebody do an entire quilt. This is another trick that you can use, a similar technique
See,
if
that
you're doing
part's bugging me so.
if you have a applique pattern that you want to digitize yourself, you can do some of this tracing and stuff in Design Center. It's a little bit more in depth, but it's the same idea.
It is. Making
I'm good.
appliques is
You
fun.
sure? Because I'll come over and
Nope, I'm good.
So I'm just going to get a little bit more here of the hat, okay? Deal?
Sounds good to me. This is your show. It's your rodeo, Becky.
But see how easy this is? And it's so rewarding when it stitches out. It is. It's like magic. All I'm is using my finger, panning, then going back to my little pencil and drawing. Now, when it stitches out, if there's extra dots or extra lines, it tries to get rid of them. But if it doesn't, you'll see some in my case because I'm kind of rushing it. You'll actually see the machine go stitch, 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 and you'll go, oh yeah, that's where I didn't connect my threads. I just want a hat.
It's very exciting. It's like watching Bob Ross put a hat on a tree.
Well, all right, one more.
Did you know that there was a collection of fabric that was it Quilting Treasures?
yeah.
Yeah, the Bob Ross.
Yeah, there's a Bob Ross collection.
I thought you were getting it.
I couldn't convince myself that there'd be enough people that want the Bob Ross collection.
If I had to fill in places, this is where I get really like, are you kidding me? I'll blow it up and I'll go, listen, you devil, connect or else. So if I get really crazy with
This
it.
is something I could see Danny spending hours doing.
Okay, so now you're going to do that. So you get it traced as much or as little as you want. You just keep panning with your finger, using a pencil, using your eraser, using your undo. This is where I save it to memory before I hit the next button. When I hit memory, it's saving it. You can save it to your stick. I'm saving it to my machine in case I need to go back for any reason. I don't have to retrace the hat. It's there. Now I'm going to choose the next button. And this is where we set our stitch parameters.
Now, I am going to say here, as a note from a technical standpoint, you can save the pattern, but keep in mind that pattern right now is lined up specifically with what's in the hoop.
Right.
The minute
That's
you
why
take-
it's in
Yeah,
the
the
hoop.
minute you take it out of the hoop, you might be able to line the pattern up again.
Nope, I
It's
tried
it's a
this.
lot of trouble. So
Yeah.
that pattern is specific to what's in the hoop. So
Yeah.
if you're saving these off of on the thumb drive that have like a file on your computer, there's no point to it because of the fact that once you stitch this out once and you take it out of the hoop, you're never going to come back to it. You're
No.
better off retracing.
Once it's out of the hoop, you're starting over again. That's true. Now, this is where we set our stitch length. Right now, it's set to 2 millimeters. That's kind of large, isn't it? Brent? Isn't that
2
large?
millimeters? I don't know. 2.5 is your standard stitch length when you're
All right, I'll make it
Where is she
1.8.
finding those?
finding what
I hit next.
is you have to hit next.
Oh,
Hit next, and that's where you're telling it. Now it's all up to this point. It's just a traced line.
Yeah.
With nothing associated. This is where we're going to give it a stitch length in this case.
So if you tap on the point
So
8.
what's your normal stitch length?
It's this
Two?
one.
Yeah. 2.5 is the standard stitch length
All right, I'll
when you're
use two.
sewing, but that's going to be kind of long.
Use 1.8 on these.
1.8 would probably come out better, yeah.
If they were tiny, and our thread is really
1.8?
thin.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to hit OK. And
I've
And-
got like this. It only goes up to 4. So you don't want one. You probably want 0.18.
Bring it back to the default. It should turn black when it hits there.
Okay.
Oh, the reason being is that you're in inches and hers is still set to centimeters.
oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
So
problem.
I don't know if that's going to be off the top of my head.
That's okay. I'll
Yep.
find it here and
Um,
change it.
Yeah.
so after you get this and you're happy with all of it, if we had more settings to take care of, we'd take care of it. But on this design, there isn't any more settings. That's it. So when I hit set, It's going to say, you want me to convert it to an embroidery pattern? And I'm going to go, yes, I do. I'm going to say, okay. And guess what's in my embroidery section? Do you see my little hat?
Yes, the hat is there. That is
Isn't that
exciting.
cool?
And I'm not seeing
If
it.
I trace the whole thing, which I'm going to do at some point, because I love her teapots, but there's the hat. So
Yeah, that's all.
I've
You
just
change it to millimeters.
added to this pattern. Oh, a tip, and I
Yeah, we'll
didn't do
change
it,
it
and I
back.
wish I had. A tip for before you scan it or take your picture, if you put colored tape, because some of my snowman is outside of the area. If I had put colored tape along here, I would have known I didn't have to trace the whole top of her hat because of how I placed her.
Okay, yep, I wouldn't have thought that's a good.
So colored matte, either blue tape, pink tape, just a color, so you know where you're. Because I can't see when this in the scan because I used white stitching. I can't see it. So if I put tape, I'll see the tape really, really easily, and I'll know. Don't bother drawing the top of the hat, Becky. It's going to get cut off. And it is going to get cut off. And I drew it, but oh well. I'm still going to let it go. I could go erase it and bring it back in because I saved it.
You could.
I saved it in memory.
It's saved, and you haven't taken it out of the hoop.
And I haven't taken it out of the hoop. So I could go back
Yep.
and tidy it up. But I'm not going to for tonight. So I'm going back into embroidery mode. You with me, Brenda?
So should I hit set?
Set. Yep.
All right. Oh, and then convert it.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, when I go into embroidery mode, it's
Okay.
going to bring up the first thing we've already done. You know, it's
Right.
going to start all over again. I don't want that. So I'm going to change my needle positionings here, and I'm going to jump. I find it faster to jump backwards because it's the last thing we added was her hat. So you will see whatever you trace show up on the screen. This is when I suggest switching to that very nice 100 weight. Oops. Thank you. 100 weight thread before we start stitching.
And I will say, for the record, I liked it with the regular weight thread when she did it with the black.
I didn't.
She didn't, but I thought it looked all right. But it's personal preference. They both come out fantastic.
I like the thin neutral thread.
Okay. I
Yeah.
want to get to here. How do I get rid of that?
You just go to embroidery.
So thread our
And then
needle.
you're gonna
Now
go to-
I hope you're going to be able to
Yeah.
catch this. This is really cool. This is magic. Watch the hat.
You got it zoomed in, Eddie. Look at this.
It is
And the magic is about to
look
happen.
how accurate it is. It's as accurate as the artist.
I was gonna say it'd be off. It was off like by.
It
3
is
inches.
off at 400. That's why I really recommend tracing at 800. And it could be the size of my tip. I don't know. But look how accurate those results are. I did not get the same accuracy at 400 when I was tracing.
And keep in mind, this is just quilting. So I mean, some people are gonna look for perfection on this, which probably you were at some point. But it's just you're just quilting it at this point. You know, it's gonna
I'm not
be.
just quilting it. I'm
No, but what I'm saying is,
drawing a snowman.
I know, but what I'm saying is, you know, if you're one of those people,
Yeah, I do. And now, because it's a double line, it's going to go around everything twice. But notice it's not doing it in the order I drew it in.
yeah, just
There's some magic in the machine that.
and it never does it. It never does it the same way twice. And that's the other thing.
See,
I
now
find
this is what I
fascinating.
mean about I had a stitch that wasn't connecting. See how it stopped and made a knot? And I just go, eh. But that's what's happening there. There's another one. That's wherever Becky didn't quite connect her lines. So you really want to try and connect the lines as much as you can, because then you won't have a lot of starts and stops.
So the pattern that we will be making available this is the separate step that will be outlined in the pattern, but you could stop before here and have a mug rug without the extra quilting.
Absolutely. Okay, now he says he's finished, and your instructions will say, well, not if you want to put a back on it. If you want to put a back on it, we're going to not say we're finished. We're going to go back in, and we're going to find our back, which is step 12. So if I look here, that was 13 because we just added it as the hat. there's my back. Step 12. And your instructions will tell you it's step 12 too.
Now, if you hadn't gone through to the design center, that step 12 would have been the next
Would
step.
have been the next step.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So if you skipped all that, then you'd be.
If you didn't want to go into the design center, now I'm going to want to finish my snowman, so I'll sacrifice her.
Taking one for the team.
She is. She's taking one for the team. She's killing me, man. I want to just trace her all, but okay. Here's the back piece.
I mean, we're an hour and a quarter into it, so.
No, that's all right. I'm taking it for the team.
Yeah.
When you put your backs on, I have a recommendation. They're folded in half. Take the fold, put it against the ribbon line. The short piece, because then it lines up on the back when you're done.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but it does. It lines up nicely. This seam lines up with the ribbon, which is just a perk. So that goes down first, and again, I will tape it. We don't want that to fly. That's not a lot of room to tape here. I guess I'll just put you right there. And then the back, the bigger piece, again, the fold line, you're going to come out about 1/4 inch from where you stitched down your Missy. Oh, it overlaps about an inch. About an inch. I highly recommend that you put tape, and I don't usually like to sew over tape, but on this one, yes, you do, right where your presser foot is going to run around the edge, because it gets caught on that edge and is no fun. So this is one of the few times I would be like, no, put some tape on.
So you're overlapping that other back piece over the top of that one that's lined up with the ribbon seam.
Yep.
You're overlapping just a little bit.
Yeah, about an inch.
About an inch. But because you lined up to the ribbon first, it lines up when you turn it right side up. Yep.
Right.
Okay.
This piece will be inside.
Yep.
The last piece is going to be inside. Now, change to your piecing thread.
Even though I'm using white thread, but it really doesn't look all that bad.
Oopsie-diddy. I like this project because it doesn't take a lot of stuff.
It runs fairly quick too.
You can line.
yeah.
If you look at my cut pieces, I just lined them up and
Yeah.
and now and you don't get bored because they're not the same thing over and over again.
Right.
It breaks it up, so it's fun. Okay, so now I'm just going to go around and it's going to stitch my back on, and it will go around twice, give us a nice good back. I'm going to make sure my iron's on hot for the last one. Oops, Becky isn't doing a great. I am not doing a great job at taping my projects down tonight.
Well, the important thing is that it doesn't get caught underneath, but
Yeah.
I usually do a better job than that, people.
well,
That's okay.
Well, you didn't trace the whole snowman, so this was, this one's not
And
going.
then I broke this red.
Do you know if your foot gets caught in there, that it can actually bend your
Bend the foot. How would you know about this, Brenda?
Oh, I think I've had that happen twice.
I'm going to back her up just about 10 stitches. Whoops.
That's why I need that new embroidery foot.
Oh, dear.
I bent one of them back. But
I should have used a better tape job on this, but I'm going to take the back off so I can finish her. So. She'll be going back in the hoop.
Now, if you take it out of the hoop and then put it back in,
I'm going to baste her down.
I got you. Okay.
Rescan her.
Makes sense.
I'm going to come in early tomorrow and finish doing this on Marie's machine.
Answer machine's holding up all right.
I haven't had a bit of problem.
Okay.
Nice.
Makes me
Okay,
feel good.
now I don't need to do the hat because we already did the hat. So now we're really done. So we're going to go over to the cutting machine and we're going to
Yeah, I got the top half of it done.
take this out of the hoop so we
Even
can see the
doing it on
magic.
big white thread doesn't look all that bad.
Oh, no wonder. It's so loose.
Okay. So now I can just go back into my design center and finish tracing.
You can.
Yep. Yep.
You can. Isn't that cool?
This is very cool. That's the best part of the machines because you can go back and do. You don't have to
There's a lot you can do. Now, when we trim this down, I'm
Now
gonna
keep in mind of your head. See, for all that are at home watching, we changed one of our camera angle mounts because we're trying to perfect this setup and to get a better view of the cutting table. We had to put that up there, and well, Becky's head gets in the way.
I'm learning. It's just hard. 1/4 inch away from the seam.
That is a fancy cutter you have there. That is a gorgeous cutter.
Let me tell you something. Go Tula, you never go back.
Does it cut nice?
I'll
Does
tell you.
it not only look nice, it cuts nice as well?
You know why? I figured it out. It's got weight.
That's why I like that other one up front that you have.
Really?
The really
Yeah.
heavy one. The weight really makes a difference.
Throws me off.
Sorry for my head.
But-
That's all right.
I'm like,
These are really nice to get close to your stitch line too, Becky. And they're the same.
Tula's. And you know what else about her snippers? Oh,
Tell
you're
me.
not creature. I'm going to tell you about these snippers.
Okay.
Okay? I don't know how she manages this. I think I know. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think they're made out of aluminum. So they're squishier. They're springier. So I find them very easy to go because they have a better spring to them.
And we should have those available. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can't find a link.
They're
You can use the
absolutely.
tools.
Oh, we also have the Kimberbell tools came in as well.
Oh, you have some more of those?
We did get some more.
I'm going to
Yes.
tell you, Tula's snips are better.
Oh.
Oh,
It's all right.
I like other things in the Kimberell kit, though.
They can be better. Doesn't hurt my feelings.
But Tula's rotary cutter and her snips are the bomb.
I just like the way they look.
Well, I thought I cut this, didn't I? Oh, and I never opened my cutter. See how good?
It
You
cuts
got-
awesome.
You got to open the blade if you want
It's
the blade to work.
fantastic.
I'm like, why isn't this cutting? What a moron. Okay.
No, you're here all day for Anderton?
There we go.
So
Look at that.
when you're cutting, are you just cutting right up to the line, or are you
I'm
going-
cutting a 1/4 inch away from the final stitching
Okay.
line.
Then that final stitch line is the stitch out of the back,
Of the
correct?
back.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. A tiny little cutting mat here, and I'm afraid.
Oh, now it looks like it's cutting.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you open the blade. The other thing I like about this cutter is it comes with a cute little case. A cute little case that I just leave on the cutting table. And because I'm terrible at finding things afterwards, so I put them down and I put this right standing in this little case
Oh yeah, it is a nice case.
every time. And then I'm like, oh, I know where my cutter is.
It's in my case.
And I don't close it.
You have like pegboard in your quilting room with like traced, you'll allow your tools traced out on it.
No. Okay, so now that's what I have here, and I'll be safely conscious and close it. Boy, you should see the mess down here. Okay, the next thing we want to do, of course, get all your tape off, but then we want to trim the corners. And now I'll tell you what, I like using the same scissors I like to trim the batting with. I like trimming the corners with these because of the curve. So when I go to trim my corner, I can get right in there good, and then it curls away. You see that?
Curls away.
See that?
Yes, it's very.
And then if you want to get real fancy like dressmakers, you just take 2 more snips and guess what you got? The perfect little corner. So I actually like using these scissors for my corners. One more corner. Now it's time to turn it, even though I still have tape on it. Keep finding tape. Now, when I turn it, I have a very famous magic turning tool that I swear by, and I swear I've used it. I buy fancy poking tools, and I keep going back to the same old favorite.
Wooden stick.
End of my paintbrush.
Which you can buy at Home Depot for what, 99 cents for a...
You probably get 20 for 99 cents at Hobby Lobby. It's just a nice little paintbrush. Chopsticks also.
Chapstick?
Chop.
Chopstick? Oh, okay.
Chop. But I like my paintbrush. It doesn't go through the cloth by mistake. That clover turner, I've put right through.
So I'm gonna go over to Hobby Lobby tomorrow and buy a bunch of paintbrushes and cut the ends off.
No, I can't. The paintbrush is still on it.
Oh, okay.
You just turn it over.
Nice.
It's just like the perfect size
Two
for
tools
corners.
for the price of one.
Yeah, I tell you, a little paintbrush, not a big, gigantic paintbrush. It's a nice little plastic paintbrush. Look at that, huh?
Yeah, and you're done. Is that all there is to it?
Almost. Let me clean up my mess a little bit. Always want to press. Yep, we're turned on. Okay. I'm going to press because you want nice seams. And then you can be done. You can be absolutely finished and not close this up. But, of course, I find the need to close it up. And I used double-sided fusible web tape by Pallon, but any double-sided tape will work. And I'm just going to guesstimate it, cut it.
So you could use like a piece of Misty Fuse even.
Absolutely.
Just kind of stick it in there.
Absolutely. I'm going to try and keep it close to the edge, though, because I don't want to flap. So I just tuck it in there like that. See that? Can't see that. That's the right thing. You're not supposed to see it. And then fuse it down.
And we got a big thumbs up for that iron that you're using.
Oh, this
That
is,
must be Danny.
Yep.
yeah, you got to have one of these.
And she specifically called you out, Ron, and let you know that she loves that iron.
I know she does.
Final press. Get rid of my scum.
That thing looks like something from a sci-fi movie, that iron.
I'll tell you, it fits in the 8x8 hoops. I use it for pressing everything.
Yeah.
All right. Oops. Ta-da!
Beautiful.
Well, all she got is her hat done tonight. But you can see,
Yeah, but
you can see how you could just keep going.
oh yeah.
And that's it. That's all there is to it. So, but think about what you just learned and how you can apply it to so many panels. And
You got a big fat awesome job from Danny.
thank you, Danny. One of my thoughts on a project like this is, and Brent's going to love me for this, is I would outline these pieces before I did the rest of the quilting. Like I could still do stitch in the ditch, or I could still bring it in, but I would highlight all of these with just a single layer of batting.
And this the technique you use to do that, you could use that. You could actually hoop up sections of your quilt
Yes.
and do that to actually quilt a project like a table runner or anything like that. I'm not going to say it wouldn't be time consuming, but it's a very easy way to do custom quilting.
Yeah. So there it is. That's it.
Yay!
No
I hope.
questions? Yahoo!
Any questions? We've got some people logged on, but I'm wondering if they're all Danny at this point. But like I said, if you are interested in doing this, we will make the pattern available free with the purchase of a panel, and the instructions as well. We'll make the downloads
with written instructions. The girls, my cohorts tonight have made a few suggestions to them, so I'll be spiffing it up and sending it your way.
Yeah. So if you order online as well, if you're watching this and you're like in somewhere else, like I'm going to say like in Idaho, Mom. But if you do order online, just make a note when you do order that you're interested in the pattern, and we'll make sure that we email that to you as well. And you always feel free to give us a call, and we're here to help.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I look awful.
No. So
I love how Eddie thinks it's funny.
So thanks for joining in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and we're gonna do another 2 weeks.
Unless that falls on Thanksgiving.
I don't think it does.
We should have looked at that.
If it does, we'll
We'll
keep
let
it.
you know.
Yeah, we'll let you know. But yeah, we're
If
gonna
it
try.
does, you'll be hearing Winter Wonderland.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget to sign up for Winter
Well, yes.
Wonderland, even if you can't participate those exact 2 days.
Yes.
When the kits are gone, the kits are gone.
Yeah, and then even if you can only make one day, just get the kit and join us for one of the days.
Exactly.
Because it's going to be Zoom, so it's not going to be live feed. But Zoom is way more interactive. They're a lot more fun. It's like you're here in the shop hanging with us.
Yeah. So sign up for that.
Did you learn
They're
something, Jocelyn?
fun.
I see that. See, Jocelyn signed on. She's like, "Thank you, Becky."
You're welcome. Thank you for coming in.
Yes. And like, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call during regular hours. And I guess we're gonna sign off.
Yeah.
Do we need
Yeah.
anything else? Because I mean, we went long tonight, but I think it was worth it. It was a lot of fun.
Toodles, and thanks for coming to FPQ Land.
Yep. All right. Thanks for watching. Talk to y'all later.
Bye.
And